Not only are we firing 4 projectiles at once, but we leave a trail of lava behind us. Combine that with a little extra experience right in the very beginning, and I think we're gonna have a pretty good day. Plus our attack speed is also really quick. While we're at it, let's increase our damage by 15%. Eventually I might be able to make my AoE so big I can just run in circles and idiots will have to run over my lava and die. And then we're gonna add some piercing, so not only are we firing 4 bullets at a time, they will pierce once. And I feel like luck is gonna be on our side. Look at all the upgrades we're getting. Enemies have a 2% chance to convert into ghosts upon death. Yes, we love ghosts. We need to make them all into ghosts. And we gain an additional projectile, so we're now going to fire 5 at once. We lose a little bit of damage for every shot, but we still got a pretty big increase there. 5 projectiles at once is kind of stupid already. And I'm not really sure how much damage a lava is going to do, but it's certainly going to burn them, and they're going to slowly run over it. I'm going to add some chain to my attack, 25% chance to chain up to 1 enemy. Next, we're going to take Essence of Sigrid. Attacks have a 5% chance to conjure a meteoroid. That one's very good. If you get an upgrade, it's extremely good, especially if you make those things big. It just rains meteors on the enemies and then they all die. And let's make our initial attacks split into weaker projectiles. That's just going to mean more things being hit, more damage going out, especially because we're firing 5 at a time already and they pierce. Our attacks are also now piercing twice, so they're going way deep into the passive enemies. I need to make sure to keep up with my experience gain too, because the further we go, we're going to need more help. Enemies have a 10% chance to explode on death, dealing AoE damage. I feel like this is going to wind up being something of an AoE build because that. Initial attack is a 50% chance to chain up to 2 enemies. Given how many shots are going out, that's just going to be big damage. And we're going to get 3 times piercing, so we're getting very lucky with the piercing and amount of shots firing, so we're basically firing 15 bullets per shot already. I don't know how upgradable our lava trail is, but I'm hoping it's going to be very good by the end. I'm going to take the blow boomerang. That's just going to give a chance to throw boomerangs out on hit, and we do so many hits, there's going to be lots of boomerangs. I think those count as AoE, so if we make AoE bigger and stronger, that just really complements our build overall. And we're going to have attacks have a 20% chance of spawning a row of spikes. That's more AoE. And that's going to help with big clusters of enemies too. They're going to have spikes from below, chains in the middle, and meteorites from above. And so far, damage is more than adequate. These are basic level idiots, but we've got to be able to absolutely destroy them first and foremost. I don't normally get this one because it's never seemed good, but I'm going to get it now. Attacks have a 3% chance to spawn this guy. He's going to go ahead and charge through the idiots, dealing extra damage as he goes. We got ghosts anyway, so he's kind of like a super ghost. And between it all, it's all just going to stack up to all sorts of different varieties of attacks. You know, these big clusters of enemies are so satisfying because they all blow up together. Enemies have a 15% chance to explode on death, dealing 12.5 AoE damage. That's actually quite big. And by the end, these islands are absolutely covered in enemies, so it's just going to be a giant chain reaction forever and ever. And we're going to keep an eye on that frame rate today. We're at 250 currently. I bet we can drop below 100 easy enough. These are all very nice, but I'm going to take this one. Dealing damage to enemies above 95% HP has a 20% chance to deal 25% of that damage again. So a quarter of the time, we're going to do basically a double hit. I'm simply going to give an extra 1 damage to all my projectiles because I'm firing 5 of them. That's going to stack on a lot of extra damage. We'll ask the boss here exactly how that feels. He's already going down. I'm going to start to move out of his way, but he's already dead. So that's going to mean a nice upgrade for us, times 3 this guy. Orb Duplicator, gain 30% more experience. That's very good to get this early on. Initial attacks have a 75% chance to chain up to 3 enemies, dealing more damage each time they go. Which brings us to the desert. I like how my idiot runs around looking like he's in an absolute panic at all times. I guess in essence he is, because he's running away from the lava that's trying to catch him. Since there's a magnet close by, I'm going to sit right here and just sort of decimate the enemies. When I get bored, I'll pick up the magnet and then we'll level up a bunch. I'm actually seeing a lot of those pink jellyfish going out. That's the very rare upgrade, the legendary soul of whatever. We're also going to get homing boost. We're getting a wide variety of different attacks today. That's going to be really good for the early game, but as we get deeper, we're going to have to upgrade some of those specifically so they actually do more damage. But for now, a wide variety absolutely destroys everything. The leggy guys are coming in already. They're very quick, but they're also very brittle, so we'll absolutely destroy them. I'm getting bored, so let's pick up a magnet. Increase your attack speed by 10%. That means more chance of hits. Enemies have a 15% chance to explode, dealing 12.5 AoE and leaving a pool of fire. Those are also going to get big. We're going to leave a lot of fire on the ground. We're also going to deal 2 additional projectiles, so now we're firing, I think, 6 bullets per shot, maybe 7. I lost count already. There's a lot of bullets going out. And that means chance on hits are going to go off a lot. And we have a mini boss. I didn't even see him. Yeah, run toward me. Run through the fire. That's very smart. And he's dead. And I got a 2 times 20%, so we got an extra 40% crit damage. And by the end of this, we're probably going to have 100% crit rate. We're going to have more than that. Deal more damage the faster you move. I think I'm actually going to take that because this character is actually pretty fast, and any extra damage we can get is going to be helpful. We are firing a lot of projectiles, but we kind of diluted the damage because of that, so we're going to want to stack that back on. But I guess if we're just doing the chance on hit things anyway, our initial damage output won't really matter. It's all about the AoE effects. But I'm also just going to make sure our projectiles do a little bit more, just to make sure the damage is adequate enough too. It's got to be a balance. The chain explosions are really good because I have to kill all of one enemy before the rest of them die, basically. Can't believe we're already at 5,500 kills. We're gonna get that number to hundreds of thousands. Maybe we'll get 500,000 today. Fire is an AoE, but it's so low damage. I'm actually gonna take movement speed because that's gonna add damage to us anyway. Your initial attack will pierce enemies 4 times, dealing 25% less damage each time, but we're gonna have a chance to fire an extra projectile, dealing 3.25 damage. So depending on how many shots we're initially firing, they pierce 4 times, so we're firing like 24, maybe 28 shots per time. So if we get our attack speed up, the chance on hits are going to be absolutely ridiculous because we're firing 1,000,000 projectiles. And look at all the experience they all drop because of it. Everything dies so quickly, and we just pick up the field of blue dots. Your initial attack will fork into 4 weaker projectiles, dealing 3.25 damage, so that's just even more forking and splintering of shots. Basically, it's like a shotgun right now. It just destroys everything in front of it. And then they all explode and leave a pool of lava on the ground for the other idiots to spawn on top of. I'm going to increase my attack speed by 20%. That's even more shots going out per second. I don't know what we're at per second, but it's a lot. Our experience is so high, we're leveling up so quickly that it's actually getting hard to keep up. Attacks have a 20% chance to splinter 3 times upon impact, dealing 4.7 damage each. That's actually huge with how many shots we're firing out. That's going to add a ton of DPS. Like, look at these guys. We just melted right through them. I think so far this build's going to be really good against enemies. Against bosses, it might be a little less, but it also might not be, depending on what exactly we're going to see. We'll test it right now on Sigrid. We're dropping meteors on Sigrid, and Sigrid's dying very quickly. Not as quickly as we've seen before, but we'll get there. All damage has an additional 10% chance to crit, dealing 165 crit damage. The boss is exploded. For our trouble, we're going to get 2 times these, which I think is Sonic Howl. Releases a thing around me every 3/4 of a second, dealing 2.36 damage. So that's that little pink thing going out from me. Not necessarily the greatest of upgrade, but that will help keep me alive, and if our AoE radius gets really big, that will start damaging a lot of different enemies automatically. And I've realized too that any of these things, even the ones that seem useless, if you upgrade them to their gold quality, they can be pretty insanely good. Your initial attack will splinter into 6 weaker projectiles. So I don't know what we're firing at this point, but it's got to be a lot of projectiles going out. I'm not sure which one of those qualify for chance on hit or whatever, but you can see the result. Enemies just get absolutely shredded, and then they explode and shred each other, and then the process repeats. All the projectiles are getting a little chaotic, but we're going to get a 25% chance to spawn a chain lightning that deals extra damage. So that's going to hit them. Look at, you can already see the chain lightning going off a lot. And that's good because we're starting to get the helmet guys. They're definitely a little bit tougher, so we're going to need a little bit of extra damage to help melt them instantly. And melting them instantly is what we're here for. Found another magnet on the ground, so I'm just going to sit here and kill idiots because I could be lazy. No, I can't because they're going to drop bombs on me. We're going to have to wander around and hit them, but this is a very fast character, so we'll be able to touch them in no time. I was expecting more mini bosses by now. I'm not sure where all of them are hiding. Maybe they're going to stack up for the end. That way we'll take a bunch of extra upgrades when we really need them. For now, I'm going to go ahead and pick up a magnet, and that's going to level us up. Look at all this. I feel like we don't necessarily need more projectiles. We kind of want them, but I'd rather have a 10% chance to conjure a meteoroid, dealing 27 damage. So that way when we're fighting bosses, we're going to be raining meteors on their heads. That's going to help kill them fast. And I'm sure we'll get more projectiles anyway, considering that's the only upgrade the game wants to give us. We got a mini boss coming in. Let's find the boss. There it is. It's nice and slow, so we can rain meteors on its head. There we go. We'll just keep pushing it back and back and back. Yeah, this is definitely a better build for like overall monsters so far, but it does a job against bosses and stuff too. Here come all the helmet guys, so this is a good test of where our damage is at. They are melting, but not instantly, so we're definitely going to need to add a little more damage. But that's where the mini boss can help, because it's going to give us 2 times Cumbered Sapphire, increase your damage by 60%. That's actually really good, just pure damage. And here comes another mini boss. This game is so good at just giving you whatever it is you need. Yeah, follow me through the fire, dummy. Good job. Think it might have touched me there once, but you're also dead. And we get an extra chain attack. We now have a 100% chance to chain 4 enemies, dealing 7 damage and an additional 1 for every chain. So when it comes to these big groups of weak enemies, we absolutely destroy them, and we just frolic through all the blue orbs. How about this one? Your initial attack will fork into 6 weaker projectiles, all having a 25% chance to fork as well, all dealing 3.25 damage. So we just have a weird splintery shot that just won't stop because of all our projectiles. I don't actually know like where my damage comes from in this build anymore. We got so many different things going on. I heard a mini boss spawn, but I don't see a mini boss yet. These are all about the same usefulness. I'm going to get more splintering. It's a different kind of splintering, I guess, but more splintering is more splintering. That's more things being hit. There's our mini boss. He's just really slow. But okay, he's dead. None of these are super great options, but I will take a 5% damage increase. I wouldn't mind more experience. We should upgrade our experience to gold levels also. And we got big helmet idiots. They should also melt fairly quickly. They're going to be tougher, but not that tough. 20,000 kills so far. We're doing all right. Okay, we got fast helmet guys coming in. We'll see if they can actually get close to us. They can get reasonably close to us, but that really wasn't too bad. Eventually, we'll get some kind of attack strategy sorted out. Right now, we're going to increase our attack speed by another 15%. So that means a lot more bullets going out. Okay, here's the boss who's already basically dead. So that works out. We're doing all right. We got a gold quality upgrade, so we're going to get 2 times boomerangs. 3 times would have been better, obviously, but attacks have a 15% chance to throw a boomerang, dealing 11.25 damage to all enemies hit. So just giant chance on hits all the time. I haven't really been watching the lava trail behind us, so I'm not really sure if that's actually doing anything at all or not. It might be doing a lot. I guess as long as I'm moving, it in theory is. I'm just not sure if it's worth it or not. The other characters might be better. If we could just get maybe 10 or 12 mini bosses in a row to spawn all giving us gold upgrades, that would really put us over the top. The levels are starting to get a little tougher because look at all these big grey helmet idiots, but we should be able to shard our way through them fairly quickly. And we're starting to get the big guys. They're definitely tougher, but they're not wearing helmets yet, so we won't have a problem. Once they put on their helmets, that's when we're really going to need our damage, but for now, no problem. Increase the radius of all AoE items by 15%. That's actually big because we do a lot of different AoE, so the bigger that stuff goes, the more enemies that hits. My strategy right now is basically run straight into the hordes of enemies just so they melt quicker. We got the mini boss down. There he is. He's got 3600 HP, so he's actually reasonably tough. But our damage is AoE, so it's better for the big mobs of enemies rather than 1v1s. He'll still die really quickly because he's sitting in lava. There's a 15% AoE radius, so that's really big for us. Look at all our extra bigger attacks now. And that stuff's only going to get bigger and bigger. That's a lot of enemies. They did touch me there. It only takes 1 mob to swarm you to die really quickly, so we do have to be somewhat careful. Coming up at another upgrade at 30,000 kills. Well, let's just add damage for the faster we move then. So that's going to put us up to almost 7 damage per shot. This character is pretty quick, so the speed upgrades will actually make a pretty big difference. Plus, even adding a little fraction of a damage is a lot considering how many bullets we fire. Because right now we're kind of like a cross between a machine gun, a minigun, and a shotgun. We fire tons of bullets, but we do it really, really fast. Look at watch these guys. They'll just absolutely melt on each other. Icy dead blobs. Enemies have a 4% chance to convert into ghosts on death for 10 seconds, dealing high damage to all nearby enemies. That's a good one. So 1 in 10 of these guys is going to turn into a ghost, and the ghosts are going to hurt other idiots. So that's just more hilarity, because we're using their dead bodies against themselves. Also, here comes the boss, so we're going to sit close to him so all of our bullets go into him, and we're pushing him back, but he's also dead. It'd be fun if we could turn him into a ghost. I wonder if that's a thing. There's a 20% damage increase. Ooh, this is going to be fun. Look at them all. They're so weak. And I got a mini boss coming in right away, but this is just a real big boost for me. None of these are armored, so they're going to die super easy. We get easy experience. But we are going to focus our attention on the mini boss because they will just absorb a lot of our damage and they give us a nice upgrade. That's really all we're here for. Our mini boss damage isn't really great, mostly because we're going sort of more AoE damage. We're still doing lots of damage to them, but we're definitely much better against big hordes of enemies like these. Like we can absolutely melt that horde. Also got to remember to pay attention to my health. I get a little carried away and then one thing touches me and then I'm almost dead. But the mini boss is also dead. There's an extra 10% damage. I will take that all day long. We got another mini boss coming in already, and look at all the little popcorns ready to pop. Our AoE is going to destroy them, plus all of our splinters, plus the magma on the ground, plus the magma we throw around. And that's supposed to be a pretty tough little horde of enemies because they're all wearing their helmets. This guy we're going to try and pin into the rocks because it's getting annoying that he's bouncing around. Then we can just, trap him sort of there. Never mind. Well, whatever. He's just going to hang out. We're just going to hit him occasionally because I don't feel like chasing him around the map, knocking him back. Too many bosses coming in. Ooh, this one's a quicker one with legs. That's actually good. He can just follow me around getting lavaed while I chase the other one around. Hugging trees has a chance. That's actually really good early on. That might be the most powerful upgrade early on. I'm going to take the goo thing. We just have a higher chance to goo enemies right now because that will go off a lot, and if that gets big enough, that will hit like every enemy. enemy ever. It's already doing quite well. The mini bosses are going to get annoying at this point, so I might have to increase my like 1v1 damage, but the hordes of enemies are still melting. They're not a concern at all. I exploded one of them. We got one more upgrade for our goo balls, 70% chance to fire 3 goo balls, and so that one's actually going to start getting pretty strong. And then we're going to get a stats 3 times 15%, so we get a 45% increase to our AoE radius. Look at the size of the goo balls in lava now. And our lava trail is enormous. And our meteorites are enormous, so that's just going to help our AoE even more. We crossed the 40,000 kill mark, and we're still going strong. Gotta remember not to touch enemies, though. We're still very, very glass cannon. But we're getting to that point again where it's hard to see enemies. There's not enough spawning. We're killing them quicker than they're spawning. Some of these helmet guys might change that though. And we're about to get another upgrade. This is all good stuff. Increase your attack speed by 50%. We're really going to make it rain goo balls now. They're going to fire a lot of those at me. Wow, there's so many spider guys. But they can throw the balls they want at me because as long as I'm moving, they won't hit me. This character is way too fast for that. It's pretty absurd when you think about it, how many projectiles are going out at any one time. We do need to increase the select few of them so we actually start putting out just a little more damage. I'm starting to feel the enemies pile up a little bit more than I'm comfortable with. Yeah, these guys are all weak. They're quick, but they're weak, so they'll melt. But if those guys had helmets on, that would have been trouble. And in comes Gaia, our next boss, so we'll see how we can deal with them, but I'm pretty sure we're just going to rain meteors on their head too. And also they're going to sit in lava and all sorts of things. The knockback we have is actually getting annoying because we have to chase the enemies around. Particularly the big ones, but there we go. Once we get it stuck in the wall, they get gooified. Ooh, gold level upgrade. We're going to get 2 times this thing. I was hoping for 4 times, but beggars can't be choosers. Enemies are going to implode. So when they die, they're going to do all sorts of different things, all of which are good for us and bad for other enemies. Now we'll start to rack up those kill numbers quickly. There's lots of idiots, most of which don't have helmets, but a few of them do. So I got to be sure to keep moving, otherwise we're going to get rained on with the red balls. But I can outrun them. This character is very, very quick, so I can just keep outmaneuvering them and circling them, and then they'll all die a horrible, horrible death. And the giant chain reactions of idiots in there between all the ghosts and spirits and explosions. It's just a lot of fun. The knockback does save me too, like in times like this when I need to get some room because I can push the enemies away from me. Upon finishing a combo streak, an explosion of energy erupts from within, dealing damage equal to 50% of the combo streak. So we're currently at like a 500 combo, so we release a 250 damage combo out of this. So if we get in trouble, we'll just try and end our combo streak. And that will evaporate anything even remotely close to us. I think it might break if we get hit too, so if we get like swarmed by enemies, we'll unleash our combo streak and destroy everything. And we got big guys wearing helmets. Okay, this is where it starts to get tough because those guys are actually really, really tough. It's nothing our combo streak destroyer probably can't handle though. But we'll just keep a little bit of a healthy distance from them for a minute just to be sure. But all of our splintering shots and everything too will help. We'll rain meteorites on them. They'll explode into lava. They'll kill themselves basically. It is strange seeing enemies lasting for so long. Aside from the mini bosses, most of everything melts almost instantly, but we did get them dead. We probably turned some of them into ghosts along the way. Oh, this will be a good swarm. We should be able to absolutely evaporate them. I need to remember not to hold still. Yeah, we can basically kill them as quickly as we can run towards them. And that combo finisher is absolutely destroying things sometimes. It's hard to notice it going off, it makes a bit of a sound, but you just see the enemies in my vicinity evaporate in that moment. We got a mini boss coming in at what's kind of a really bad time for it, honestly, because we're pretty surrounded for a moment. I'm going to try and make it to the shore, so we release one of enemies at our back. Then we can focus our damage in one direction where all of our splintery shots will have the most effect. Well, we run along the beach flailing our arms, looking very intimidating. There's so many enemies the mini boss can't actually reach us, but we also can't reach the mini boss in this moment. We still have that crazy fast movement speed. Okay, there's a second mini boss. This is actually going to get to be a tough spot for us. We're going to get our combo to go up. Mini bosses have many thousands of HP. There's 3 mini bosses coming in. That's not great. I'm going to see if I can end my combo here to try and melt some of these things. We should get hundreds and hundreds of damage to hopefully remove some of the helmet guys. Yeah, that actually worked. That just took out a bunch of helmet guys. I think I missed it on the recording, but they all evaporated. We also have full HP again, and we need to figure out what to do about these mini bosses. Probably kill them. You just kind of got to do it methodically because there's a lot of enemies on the board. DPS is getting up there. There is 14,000 DPS. It should get higher by the end of this. This is a pink upgrade. This will be a good one. 3 times lightning. 25% chance to spawn 5 lightning that deal impact 12.75 damage, have a 50% chance to spark 2 additional lightning. I will not say no to that. That extra lightning is going to be a big help for us, especially with our giant AoE radiuses that we have. I just put myself in a really stupid spot, but our knockback will also help. Because now this mini boss is soon to be dead, and then there's only one more to deal with, and he's actually pretty weak in comparison. I think I want more spikes, 25% chance of spawning a row of 9 spikes, dealing 8.6 damage, and that's a blue upgrade, So at this point, blue upgrades are going to be more than gray ones. And we're going to get an extra 10% crit damage. That's not going to be a huge deal at this point, but it's certainly going to be extra damage. We're going to circle way away from this big horde of morons. And we're just going to keep going and going and going. Circle all the way around back to the mini boss. Hopefully getting some good damage on him. And the meteors are just absolutely destroying him. A blue tier upgrade, so we get 1 times attack damage. So we get 85% damage. All damage has a 2.5% chance to deal double damage. That's actually a big boost to our DPS. And yeah, we're getting into the tens of thousands of DPS at this point. These guys are very tough, so we can absolutely just rain damage down on them. And there's none of their mortar guys, so I can kind of just sit here for now and not really have to move, which is a nice break. We're up to 60,000 kills. The next boss is showing up for us somewhere, so we'll go find him and absolutely destroy him. The boss decided to plant itself right in the middle of all the helmet guys, but we should destroy them too with all of our damage at this point. Yep, that'll work. Have some meteors, have some lava, have some magma. Our attack speed is also too quick, like we can just avoid all the damage from a boss like this without much effort at all. They're getting surprisingly strong though, like that boss really did absorb some damage. This might help change things though. 4 times 20 AoE, 80% AoE increase. That's a rare upgrade, but my AoE is going to be enormous now. Look at the size of the slime balls and magma following me. It's huge. I think the magma trail might have been strong early on, but by this point it's not doing enough damage to make a difference. I mean, it does help though, and it slows enemies down. Like if I'm running from a fast enemy, they have to run through my lava trails. So it's just kind of funny if anything. Lots of helmet guys showing up on whatever island number this is, but that's fine by me. DPS is going up, but I could definitely tell they're lasting way longer than I want them to. And they're starting to spread out more annoyingly, like they have the helmet guys close to me and the mortar guys behind, so I can't really reach the mortar guys very easy to remove them. I've got to dodge mortars for way longer than I want to. These smaller helmet guys still melt pretty reasonably though. We knock them back and then they all chain reaction off each other anyway. Plus our AoE radiuses are so big, we're hitting like 1 million enemies for everything we fire. So far so good. The enemies can get a little bit close to us, but whatever's knocking enemies back has probably saved us quite a few times by now. And I feel like the enemies really do have trouble getting, like even when we get close to them, they tend to just get pushed back anyway, so we're in a really safe spot. It would be cool to get a bunch more meteor upgrades. If we can make those nice and strong at this point, they're huge and they're firing non-stop. Okay, here come a bunch of running helmet guys, so we're actually gonna have to steer back away and hopefully make it around the outside. Might take damage there. Nope, we actually pushed them back there. And now the helmety guys are running after me through my lava, which isn't really gonna hurt them, but it is gonna slow them down. And we got balls coming in, so we'll explode the balls. I'm actually gonna sit up here close to the health because something's bound to touch us and we're gonna need emergency health at that point. Most of our damage upgrades haven't actually been upgraded that far. That's why we don't have any one thing like destroying idiots. I'm not actually sure which one of these I want. They're all kind of good. This one's gold, but we don't actually have this one at all. That one does do 48 damage. I think we're going to do Hailstorm. That's just going to give me another type of AoE to go out constantly and just hit things. And that does seem to be making at least a bit of a difference because I see the hailstones flying out and hitting them. And that just keeps me a little bit safer. The enemies are definitely coming in a little bit more intensely now, so wow. Okay, oh, it's because of the exploding guys. They're exploding and letting out the little helmet guys, which is definitely a little bit dangerous for me. And here comes the mini boss from somewhere, but that's okay. I will go find the mini boss eventually. Right now, things are having trouble getting close enough to me to hit me. Probably because my AoE radius is obnoxiously big. But we got more idiots exploding, pushing more things, and we got the boss coming in also. But there's the mini boss, so this is actually a good thing. What I need to do is just start hitting both of these two, either of these two really. I'll get the mini boss first because we'll get more upgrades and that'll be fun. Look at all the experience on the ground. Okay, something just died, and so we'll take some upgrades there. We got a one-time dizzy ball, which isn't great, but that's just another means of attack for me. And there's a bunch of experience. Now we'll get Zigrid, who is going to give us a big upgrade. Okay, there's another mini boss coming in also, so I'm going to kill him again before the boss. We're dropping lava balls all over the mini boss. There's some HP right above me if I need it, but so far, as close as the enemies have gotten to me, I haven't really taken much damage in a while. He's going to run in circles. He's going to run through lava. I'm going to hit him with goo balls, and everyone lives happily ever after. A gray upgrade. Wow, it's a 10% damage increase. I guess I won't complain. 120 would have been nicer, but I guess damage is damage. We're going to run circles around this idiot, pushing him into lava, and dropping meteors on his head. The boss exploded. We get a gold quality upgrade, which could be really, really good, or an extra 20% damage, which is really good, but not really, really good. Which brings us to the next island where things are melting equally as quick. Our DPS is probably getting up there by now. It's still definitely in the 10,000s, and we've gotten almost 80,000 kills. Ooh, this will make the DPS go up when you pop all those. Yeah, there's 22,000 DPS, easy enough. Plus a lot of experience for us to grab. We got 2 mini bosses coming in, and that's going to be good because these helmet guys are getting strong. I'm sitting right in their face, spraying them with damage, and they're not really melting. But I did sit there long enough. I got them all grouped up. Even these spider things are getting tough. These exploding guys are going to be bad too because they're going to let go of helmet guys and they're going to push toward me really, really fast. But then we can also explode them in giant nuclear-sized explosions. Oh, that's not good. That was a lot of damage. Thought they would melt just a touch faster than they did, so we definitely took more hits than we wanted to. And the enemies are definitely multiplying. I saw 65,000 DPS for a second though, thanks to all the numerous enemies we were able to hit at once. Just gotta kind of get our damage going back in the right direction again, which is gonna kind of be upwards. We're gonna increase the number of hailstones we're throwing out there. Ooh, oh, that was 20 frames per second, 44 frames per second. The game's starting to hurt. Perfect. Maybe the game will crash before we die and then we can claim ourselves undefeated. I want that magnet. That was a big explosion. That was satisfying. Getting greedy for the magnet might have put me in a bad spot. I don't really know yet. It's a little hard to say what's going on. I do love the amount of damage going out though. That feels pretty good. And I think that combo streak ending thing actually has a really big radius too. So depending on when my combo ends, we can melt a lot of people all at once. Not the mini bosses because they're just way too strong, but our damage for everything else like that. It destroys like the entire map. They all disintegrate. We basically Thanos snapped the island. 1 times 5% AoE. That could have been 3 times 20. Not that I'm going to complain. 5% extra is actually pretty big because it's already huge. We get this idiot mostly stuck against the rock, so hopefully he'll die and give us something better. Okay, we are kind of getting stuck against the wall because I wasn't really paying attention. I was focused on the mini boss. Think we can circle out of this though, sort of. We're kind of stuck against the rocks now. And we got a lot of exploding guys coming toward us. Frame rate is dropping. Okay, we got him dead. Hopefully this is something strong. 20% damage multiplier is actually really good for a single upgrade. Yep. That actually gave us a lot of room to push right back through these guys. Yeah, that really put us over the top. That's crazy how much increase that was. Okay, let's upgrade to a medium sonic howl. It goes off quicker and does even more damage, but I think that's just gonna help push idiots back, and we got a boss. Moomsa. They have 113,000 HP, which is actually a lot. Yeah, it's gonna take a second to chew through. But I think we can actually push it back. So normally it charges toward us being stupid, but we have so much knockback it can't get to us. We're the boss now. Yep, it actually charges toward us and can't move. We're too strong. What I would really like is a 4 times increase on something amazing to take us from like a gold quality to a super gold quality. We got a mini boss coming in, but since the boss is almost dead, we're going to do that first. Then we're going to get, okay, 2 times the implosion thing. And that's actually going to start to stack up to be pretty good because that is stacking damage on it. But now we got to kill the mini boss before he gets sucked into the boss orb thing. I think that's a leggy guy because he has very little HP, but he's very quick. So he's running into me and hurting me. But he's about dead. And then we can go through the boss portal, which is suspiciously absent currently. Okay, Sonic Howl is just going to go off every half a second instead, but that's going to give me more safety from less knockback. I mean more knockback. We now have more knockback. Our Sonic Howl goes off all the time and look how big it is. Yeah, enemies are going to have trouble getting close to us. Between all the damage and the knockback, they can get pushed into us though when they spawn in their little helmets like this, so we'll see how this goes. This is starting to get a little bit intense because the exploding guys are exploding small enemies toward me and they're actually getting real close. And we're getting mortared. The frame rate's not, I saw a frame rate drop to 9 there. 9 frames per second, but then we lost our thing, so we unleashed a very big attack that Thanos snapped the island again. Look at the upgrades it's giving us at this point. There's just, they should be better than this. But we'll take a little extra damage for sure, because that puts us up to 9.4 damage per projectile. And to be fair, there are a lot of projectiles going out. Definitely starting to get cornered again, but look at our combo going up. It's well over 1,000 now, so I'm pretty sure as soon as something touches me, we're going to Thanos snap a lot of different things. Or we might just straight up die. I don't really know yet. Frame rate is definitely dropping. DPS hit 98,000 there. I still don't know if anything can manage to hit us or not. Our combo is up to 6,000. I'm going to move into them a little bit. That way I do maximum damage when that breaks. Oh, there it goes, and we got some room to breathe. I think in theory, if you kind of built this right, you'd almost be invincible. Though we did lose our combo there. It's going back up again. It's just a matter of out-comboing their damage. But there's a lot of little guys over here we can use to stack up some easy damage. There's a lot of leggy guys. They might actually be able to touch me, and they did. 36 million damage, though. That's not bad.